Hey guys, welcome back to the Game of Money. I am Oren Klaff. I'm so happy to introduce our sponsor. It's the same sponsor we've had for 55 years, me. I pay for everything. Sergio, welcome.
Thank you so much, Oren. It's a pleasure being here, honestly. I'm such a big fan of you, your work, and it's so charming and it is so majestic, and I think and I believe that's the ultimate luxury as a man, that you're able to put a stamp and with your personality, or allow your personality to reflect in your space, because this is you.
Yeah.
The way that your passions show throughout. So congratulations.
This is what I try and tell my son is but we're going to get to sales here in a minute for the people listening in. Why are we talking about this stuff? But this is everything. So he's as I mentioned, he's 11 years old, and he's on a AA, moving to AAA hockey team.
Nice. And
as I said, the coaches can get 30 kids. They need 15 kids. They can get 30 kids, 45 kids who can skate, shoot, dangle, and get themselves on the ice. And the difference between those kids is so slight. And yeah, you can pick a team. What they are looking for is desire, a burning desire to make an imprint on the game, on life, passion, for the ability to feed something into a team and give more than they take at 11 years old. If you're 50 years old and you haven't figured that out, in this culture, you need to go back in time to before the dinosaurs. The way our culture works. Passion, desire, energy. Really, for here, we're not going to give you motivation. This is about money. This show is called The Game of Money. We're going to motivate you to care about money and the things for family and things for life and leaving an imprint and passion, fire, energy. You come with that. And then we try and find some direction for it, and add to it. We put you on a team, same as an 11-year-old hockey player. You come with fire. I'm not teaching you puck hungry. No coach can teach you puck hungry. Mm-hmm. No coach can waste his time teaching an 11-year-old, a 23-year-old, a 50-year-old fire. How do you teach fire? Mm-hmm. But if you have it, it can be channeled and it can be put on a team, and that team can destroy. And that's what I think, why I like to talk, to guys like you who have that internal, dilithium crystal burning, and then, you want to be inside a peer group on a team or associated with people who have those same desires, and then we reflect and refine each other and do stuff together that is the channeling of the fire. Cannot teach fire. Bigger subject, you can't steal fire. So Silicon Valley does things in Silicon Valley. We're just talking about West Hollywood.
Yeah.
You can't film a world-class movie in Gilbert, Arizona.
Yeah.
Right. There's no cameras. There's no studios. There's no film directors. There's no money. There's no actresses. There's no actors. There's no sound guys. There's no equipment. So you can't do it there because it's not in the echo. So you can't steal fire out of Hollywood and take it somewhere else. But you also have to have that internal fire, and then it can be channeled. Cannot teach people, that's really why I stopped teaching, because you give people all the skills, you give them the skating skills, the shooting skills, the dangling skills, the blocking skills, the skating backwards, but they don't, for whatever reason in the thing they're doing, they don't have that internal, burning thing. So I think what we want to talk about today, so welcome, thank you for coming here. What we want to talk today is about sales.
Yes.
And so you define yourself as being, vertically in sales. How did you arrive to this profession?
So thank you for that. I am a sales guy at heart. I'm one of the few individuals that walk this earth that when they tell them what do you do for a living, I'm not ashamed to look somebody in the eyes and without hesitation shake their hand and says, I'm actually a sales guy. But I wanted to add something to the topic that you were just talking about. 2 years ago, I just recently spent a year and a half in Miami, loved the place, and had a great time. Our top producer was not the high IQ, Harvard degree, incredible 10-year success story. It was a guy from Colombia that lived in Ohio, that saw our content online and drove from Ohio to Miami without an apartment, without any money, sleeping inside his car, and told us every day for 3 days, I want to work for you guys, and I'm going to be the best salesman you're ever going to meet. And this guy, after spending 10 seconds with the guy, I told him, you're hired, and you're the guy that I'm going to support and I'm going to invest time in. Because today, it's so difficult to be that, because I think is the easiest time to do nothing. Check out the duality, right? Technology right now is the best time in the history of humanity to communicate, to do things fast. I remember the first fax machine, and I remember how that blew my mind, right? But anyway, so today, thanks to technology, you're supposed to be able to do the most, but yet people do the least.
It's so... You're going to have to come down. We have a couple topics here. So we hire 24-year-olds, right? Okay. The reason... because they have energy and a skill set and they're a level of affordability to some degree, and we need people. And so what happens is they come here for 30 days while they restock their 45 days, 2 months, while they restock their bank account, and then the second month or the third month they go, hey, Thursdays and Fridays I'm going to work from home, right? And then that goes for a month, and then month 3 it's, hey, I'm going to work from Tahoe. I'm going to work from an Airbnb in Tahoe. And then by the 4th month, hey, I'm going to work from the road, right? So really, the young people are taking jobs to restock their funds to be able to go out and have fun, work a little bit from the road, and restock that account. And they only come to home base to make money, and then they go hit the road again. The belief system is, I can live in Hawaii, I can live in Bali, I can travel Europe and deliver enough value to a company that they'll pay me, and that's the ideal. So it is, because there's these safety nets. I never would have done that as a young. Where would I find another job when I run out of money? Exactly. Right, and you're going to go down into construction or moving or something like that in order to make a living. But this Indeed and Upwork and Fiverr and everything is a safety net that you can always sort of make something.
And they don't know how unattractive that is.
Because they have the skill, but they don't know how to work in a company. They don't know how to work on teams.
Nothing charms you more than somebody that's willing to do whatever it takes to be around you. Yeah. And so at the age of 15, this is obviously before cell phones, and we were just talking. I saw the first Atari video game, the first VHS. We freaked out the kids of the neighborhood. I was the first guy to have a VHS at home, and the fact that we could record a movie and put it in. It was I don't know if it was Indiana Jones or the Goonies, but I come from that era. Magic, beauty, possibilities. Yeah. And I remember we freaked out, and that meant the world to us, right? And so at the age of 15, why I spent a second talking about that, I was not influenced by a podcast or YouTube. There was no such a thing. I remember the first AOL sound of the email, right? Before computers. And I'm 14 years old. And so somehow at the age of 14, I decided I was going to become a professional salesman. Something inside of me told me, hey, in order to live an abundant life and have unlimited experiences and freedom, I need to master one thing: the art of storytelling and the capacity to influence and persuade another human being. And at the age of 15, I moved to Mexico, and I had 2 jobs, and I've been living on my own in a way ever since. So I always wanted to learn. I had no school. And the way that I learned back in the day was identifying somebody that had what I wanted and going to work for them. And you know how somebody without education, without experience, without curriculum convinces somebody to share their knowledge with them, showing them, I'm hungry, I'm committed, and I promise you that I'm going to add 10 times more value to you that I'm going to take from you.
I mean, we just don't see that today. No. We do not. I mean, it's just gone from our culture because of the safety nets. Because there's no, hey,
there was no credit cards, no line of credits.
You cannot see the bottom, right, today. You can't see the bottom. To hit rock bottom today, you have to be on drugs, you have to have alcohol, you have to make bad decision after bad decision and have no, the safety nets are anybody can learn a backflip with this many safety nets below. There'd no Cirque du Soleil, if they had this many safety nets.
One thing I wanted to say about that, how it's so much easier to play to win when you have nothing to lose. I remember when
Yeah.
you are at the bottom,
Yeah.
it's so easy because there's nothing to lose, right? Now that you have a family and the kids and the college fund and the
Yeah.
investors, it costs you to follow your gut.
Yeah.
But back in the day, like, this is the thing that people try to avoid the situation and the place that's actually gonna uncover the greatness in them. Like, I remember when my life depended in getting this job or this meeting, you will do whatever it takes. It doesn't matter if you hadn't eaten, if you...
Are you watching Drive to Survive?
Oh yeah, of course.
Yes.
I watch every
So
season.
so we were watching.
I don't like it as
season,
much
but
as the beginning, but I like, out of respect, I watch it.
Yeah. At the beginning was excellent, but the simple rule is, when the drivers get a family, they slow down.
Mm-hmm.
It's it's as simple as that.
I have a past life in the entertainment industry. Everything I've always gotten in my life, it was not because I was talented or capable, but because I knew how to sell. Clear example. And I do want to talk about pitch anything. I'm a big fan of comedy. I did my tour Second City and
Very nice. Yeah, I did Second City as well.
It's a bit, really?
Yeah, in LA, because and I was there. I think I was there. I must have been 43
Everybody should
years
do
old.
it.
Oh yeah, everybody should. I was 43 years old, right? And there's a bunch of 19-year-olds, 21-year-olds, and they're like, "What are you trying out for? Like, what part? Are you like the grandpa? Are you the dad? Are you the driver? Are you the truck driver?" I'm like, "No, I raise money."
The FBI guy,
Right.
are you going to rate the place?
I'm like, "No, I raise money."
The
They're
bag
like, "What
of
do you
weed,
mean?"
right? Like, boom.
I'm like, "I have a job," and they're like, "Yeah, oh, that's great. You're staying in character, but what do you really, It's great you're staying in character, but what are you really here for?"
Exactly.
Right? And I was double the age. Those improv skills were really amazing. I wish I would have had more time for it now. I would have stayed it longer, but it keeps you fast on your toes.
How fun.
Where you need to be.
How fun. Yeah. So, by the way, the first time I did stand-up at the Comedy Store in an open mic, I sucked so bad, and it was the worst experience of my life. I have never, failing at that, when people that don't know you, that didn't come to see you because they like you, I mean, it was the worst experience. I felt like a bus had run over my soul afterwards. That was why I had to get up from that. But anyway, just following up on that before we start talking about, in fact, let's use this story as a segue to get into Pitch Anything, because it transformed my life. I honestly think that you're greatest salesman on the planet, and you've given the world the biggest contribution in the past 50 years.
Yeah, thank you.
And when I read your book, everything made sense, and I could easily see all the wins I had in the past is because I followed what you talk about in the book, and the deals I didn't close is because I didn't apply that.
Well, it's funny, when Pitch Anything, when my agent took me around to publishers, even in those days, you had to have a platform. They're like, "What's your platform?" So you walk in the meeting, and they go, so you've Simon & Schuster, McGraw-Hill, Random House, Penguin, the various, publishing houses, and 10 other ones. You walk in, they go, "Tell us about your platform." Because even then, that would have been, 2010, 2011, 2012, something like that. People had, Gary Vaynerchuk, was out, and people had platforms. Mm-hmm. So what's your platform? And I got sick of that because I didn't have a platform. I just had the ideas of the book. So I remember when I don't talk about this very often. I went to McGraw-Hill. I walk in, and it's very clear who the publisher is. She's, 76 years old, and everybody else is 23 years old, right? And so before she gets out, like, "What's your platform?" I'm like, "Hey, honey, can you give me some coffee?" Right? I'm like, and then I picked the lowliest person. There was clearly like a one-day-old intern. I started treating her like she was the absolute publisher. I'm like, "Listen, I know you got to make a tough decision here today. You want to know about the platform. Like, let's get into it." I'm like, "Hey, is that coffee ready?" and they're like, "What's going on?" Right? And I just continued, demeaning the publisher, who everybody else, in New York. These editors and senior publishers, have the absolute attention and supplication of everybody else around them, right? And I'm like, "Hey, when I have a question for you," and she was trying to talk. My agent's like, "What's going on here?" And I just continued to teach the intern, put my attention on the intern, as if she was running the whole show, and elevating her status and lowering the status of the senior editor, chief editor. And then after 4 or 5 minutes, she's like, "What's going on here?" And then one of the junior people there go, because they've seen the manuscript, they go, "He's doing it." He's doing it to us. And that's, why they went for pitch anything, because it came in and was like, authentic to that hunger. Because there was no down, even though I had a career at that point, I didn't have a publishing career. I didn't have an entertainment career.
Yeah.
And there was nowhere backwards that I could go back to, right? Like, I'll continue on my blog, or I'll just do my show. I'll keep it the podcast. I didn't get the book deal. It was like this or nothing. And so that drives you to find like, whatever you found there to squeeze the camel through the eye of the needle.
Yeah.
And that worked, and they gave
because you got their attention.
Yeah.
Because it's like a casting director that says 1,000 actors in a day. They become numb, right? So you need to be really unique and do something different.
I really believe in it, which is listen, I'm not going to drop you. We've come a long way. I'm going to help support you, whatever it is. And I'm going to be alongside with you. This is typically like a contract upgrade or a contract extension or, a higher price, for something that's ongoing. But this is the exact playbook, right? Which is we are, listen, I love this account. We just sort of outgrown
I like you.
this.
There's nothing wrong with you.
Right. It's us, so I'm going to stick with you. Don't worry, you're not going to lose any services or you're not going to lose any traction. I'm going to find somebody who you want to work with. I'm going to actually train them on how to transition the service. And then they come back and go, what do you need? I think, where Pitch Anything came from is not that much suave or sophistication or elegance or knowledge. It's just pure anger. And then, so instead, most people take Pitch
Anything.
Anything.
Drop-offs every morning.
Yeah.
All the parents.
So what most people do is they take Pitch Anything and they say, okay, I see that there is this terminus or this objective of flipping the script. So, for example, my son's hockey coach, said, "Hey, is Asher going to be at tryouts? For one of the teams." And so my family is sitting there sweating. What do we tell him? Are we going to be the tryouts? We're going to try it for this team. Because they fucking, they're so insidious, the teams. They make all the tryouts same day, same time. So you cannot try out for two teams.
Okay.
You have to pick a team.
Okay.
Try out for it and make or not make that team. And if you don't make that team, then you're begging for a position.
Oh, wow.
Can you believe doing that
That's
to a
nasty.
10-year-old? It's so nasty. And for 7-year-olds. And so then they put up the roster at the skate. Right? I have a video of my son. This is a tragic video. So they put the roster up, and he's sitting next to a kid, and my son makes a team, and his sunshine just is exploding from inside his eyeballs. The kid sitting next to him looks up, doesn't see his name on it, and starts crying. So you have this contrast of two kids, with the exact same situation, exact same day, forced into the same crucible with exact opposite emotions. And then and it's not just that, but it stole my son's thunder, because then he started crying, because that was his friend. And I got this video of him putting his arm around him. Of course, I never share it. It's so personal. But it took all the joy out of him because his friend, got destroyed. Because once you don't make the team, you couldn't go to any other tryout. You don't make any teams. And so they're going. The coach is like, "Hey, are you going to be at tryout?" And my son and my wife are trying to be like, "Hey, how do we navigate this? What do we tell him?" And I'm like, and so the anger welled up in me, right? I'm like, "Hey, this is wrong." I'm like, so I grabbed the phone and I sent a text back, which is, "Who do you have on your team that we would want to skate with?" Not, "Are you going to show up for the tryout?" But the anger turns it around and says, "You pitch me on why I should come to your tryout. What team am I going to be on with my skills? Who do you have that's going to be on my line? Who will I skate with?" And so it's the same thing with with all these sales situations, which is because largely I'm in finance, right? It's like, "Hey, we'd like to see the deck, and we'd like to get in the data room and take a look around," and go, "No," right? Why would I? Because my anger is from the amount of time it is to let somebody in the data room, the amount of time to sign an NDA, the amount of time to walk through some of these questions. I don't know anything about you and your intent, right? Why would I let you in my data room with my intellectual property and my energy and leak all that out, right? You haven't even said, we show me that you have capital. What is your capital overhang? Do you love this deal? What is your intention? The data room is confirmatory diligence. Assume for a minute I did not get to this station in life. Assume for a minute this deal did not get to this profile. It didn't get referred to you by Wilson Sonsini, by Mintz Levin, by Cooper Wilson, by whoever brought you the deal. Assume it didn't get referred by somebody who wants to look bad. Everything that and look at the team we have, the amount of $30 million in it. This deal didn't land here because it's a non-deal. Assume that everything that's in the deck is accurate. The data room is confirmatory diligence. Where are you in your desire? Where are you in your ability? What have you funded before? What is your decision-making process? Who's involved? And how long does it take you to decide for something like this? And until I believe in all of those things, I'm not going to open up a data room.
It's brilliant. Like, I think Pitch Anything should be part of every, not even college, high school program. Like, just understand how psychology and people work, and just stop spending so much time, energy, and resources, and do everybody a favor. But certainly every company.
And I think you'd be amazed today at, I got to watch the clock here because I have stuff going on. I want to talk to you for a few minutes, but as we wrap up, I think you'd be amazed today because, a lot of things you're talking about are like, I think about, the pitch, or the tennis ball being served and sort of up, hit, very mechanically going through it. But today, Pitch Anything, has evolved to, if I'm going in for a, which I do every day, pitch for money, the first thing I'll say is, we don't need any money. And so it just cuts short, the whole conversation. So the neediness is so important to say, so they say, well, what is this, pitch or this meeting about? I go, well, I'm certainly willing to top grade some of the investors that we have and we have access to. So if you're better than the investor, the investor stream or the investors that we currently have, we will replace them with you. But we're fully funded and don't need any additional money, but I'm looking for a higher quality of investor.
Better
for
money,
lots of
meaning
reasons.
better rate, better, or just better name.
In all situations, better name, better quality, more capital, more better status for the cap table, and everything. In customers, it's the same way. It's like, hey, I'm not looking for customers. So whatever it is, just take that neediness away. It has to be true. As you said, hey, happy to talk to you guys. The two things is, when I make it true for the guys is, hey, look, we have all the capital we need. We have all the customers we need, but we need new blood. We need new customers and we need new investors. So we take 20% of our time and we meet new people because we just keep going back, to the same people over and over again. If they die, if they go somewhere else, if they move away.
What do you want, Oren?
Yeah. And so, if they fatigue, if they run out of money, we never meet any new people because the same people fund us, all the time. So now we learned, spend some of our time unnecessarily meeting new people, and that's you. But I'm happy to get off this call in 10 seconds, and just go back to the work that we already have in place. Another thing I think is important is if you heard me talk to some of the people that I talk to and present to, I will start at a point that says you almost everything different from what you read in Pitch Anything. Hey guys, I need you. I love you. I'm excited about this. I'll give you, everything backwards, from what you read in the book. I'll give you my mom's pager. I'll give you my second cell phone number.
I'll watch your car Sunday morning, breakfast for your kids.
I'll take your call on the weekend. I'll fly to where I love you, right? And I need you. And I care. I actually love you. On the other hand, I don't care at all. I'm here in the moment, right? You guys are Mr. and Mrs. Jones. I'm Oren Klaff. We're doing this. I love you. This, the things you're saying, but I have another 37 of these to go to. And so if there's friction, if it's not right, if you don't love me back, if you don't give me your cell phone and your pager number and you're not holding up your side of the log, I am not going to work harder on your life, on your wealth management, on your career, on whatever it is you're working on than you will. So if you put in the time and energy, and I put in the time and energy, we will create something amazing together. I actually love you guys. You are, special to me. And I will, and I'm here right now, and that's the urgency. I'm here right now in the moment together, and we will do this. But if it's not right, let's just call it a day, because I got to
please tell me right now. You're not going to hurt my feelings.
You tell me.
Do a favor to the next.
You're the boss of me.
Yeah.
Today for the next 5 minutes. Tell me what to do.
Yeah.
What do you want me to do? I will do it. You can order me around. I'll stand on my hand, light my feet on fire, right?
Yeah.
While we're together. But otherwise, I've got to go to the next one. So because the non-neediness can be offensive the way many people interpret it. You have to show the love. You have to be fully present. You have to show the appreciation. You have to build both sides of it, so they're feeling hot and cold at the same time.
It makes you being willing to walk away and being and not bending backwards, especially in today's day where everybody's bending backwards, makes you valuable. And we are attracted to that energy instinctively.
Where do people find, more where can they get more insights from you?
Instagram, Sergio
Where's
Bruna,
the best place? What's your platform that you're most on?
Yeah, so I'll say Instagram. I'm not good at creating content.
Yeah.
I just I'm building a studio in my office. I have an office in
nice.
Woodland Hills.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna start doing more of that. But I did not come here to promote me. I really came here to honor you.
But I know people are gonna like the sound of your voice.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And if there's somebody, because this is the thing, you add value to people, especially that are at a certain height of their careers. If you're somebody that want to learn and make a good living, hit me up, find me on Instagram at the Sergio Bruna.
This has been Game of Money. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.